And today's guest is here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Hello.
How are you?
Hey. Say hi to my people. Say hi.
Hi.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Kiskapids podcast. I have a very special guest with me today. I've been trying to make this happen for a couple of weeks now, and finally, we made it happen.
Can make it happen.
By all means necessary.
Yes.
So I'll let my guest introduce herself. I mean, I've seen her work. I respect what she does, and
Thank
I have
you.
nothing but praises.
Thank you.
So I'll let her introduce herself, and then we'll take it up from there.
Hey everybody, my name is Shushanik. I'm from Armenia, a place which doesn't have a good reputation here, but we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
I am an interior designer and the founder of a design agency in China.
Wow. So all the three?
Yes, so we do interior design, architecture and branding.
There you have it, guys. Yeah. So like you said, it's not just a studio. You guys do like all... But before we even tap into exactly what you do, I just want to know the back history of like how you got to just the whole market.
Okay.
Because you're the founder of this
Yes.
company, right? And for all founders, it just comes with the history. You don't just wake up one day and it's
Thank
all
you.
like, luxury office employees.
No.
Yeah, you
Oh
have
my
to
God.
go through. You
So
have
many
to
steps.
Yeah, there's so many steps you take, and
Yeah.
even getting to that, it's just the things that shape you from a young age. So, would you say just growing up in? Oh, where did you grow up?
Oh, I
Start
grew
with-
up in Russia.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Just bouncing all over the place.
Yes, exactly.
So, but you were born in Armenia?
I was born in Armenia, then my parents immigrated to Russia, so I grew up in Russia. Then when I was 16, I moved back to Armenia to do my studies in architecture. So I was living alone from 16 in Armenia. Then
You know how
It's
old
not
Kenyans
the-
have to be before they move out
Oh,
of their
serious?
houses? Yeah, they move out.
actually in my culture it's also not very common, but because
it's not?
my parents didn't want us to stay in Russia and want us to kind of feel that we are Armenian, like get back to our roots, So they sent us back to Armenia to study, and we had to live alone because they were back Russia trying to make a living for us.
But 16 practically is an adult, I assume. Can you do like your transactions in those countries once you're 16? Like
yes.
paying bills and everything?
Yes.
You get an ID at 16?
Yes, definitely.
Oh, you do get an ID at
Yes.
16? Oh yeah, you see, Kenya, 18 and even an 18-year-old probably needs an ID at 20.
Oh,
And it's
wow.
just how we've been conditioned, and unfortunately that's just the case. So
Okay.
at 16, you're doing your...
I'm doing my studies. So actually I went back to the last year of high school
Okay.
because all my studies in school were in Russian, and then I had to learn Armenian all over again. So in 1 year I had to learn my native language all over again, and then I entered the Bachelor of Architecture. Then I did it for 4 years. Then I went to Italy for masters in interior design.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
After that, I stayed in Italy for work, which I was not supposed to.
Why?
Because I had student visa and my visa
Oh,
expired,
it had expired.
and I just stayed for work for a few months just to get the experience in like Italian design firm, because it's a good thing to have on your CV, and also you get a lot of knowledge in terms of design. And then I went back to Russia, stayed with my parents for a few months, worked, made some money, and then I was looking for jobs anywhere.
Okay, wait. We don't want you to give us the whole story. Once you mention something, we have to understand. Okay, when you went back to Russia, what kind of jobs were you doing in Russia? Because did you immediately get a job in a farm, or you had to do other like odd jobs before you figure your way out in the industry?
Actually, I self-taught graphic design So I got a graphic design job in a local magazine. So I was doing graphic design for 6 months just to save up some money and move out, forever.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was looking for jobs everywhere, anywhere in the world, and I noticed that there are a lot of jobs in China because the construction industry was growing at that time in 2014.
Yeah.
So I got a job in architecture firm in China. So I was like, okay, fine, and I moved there. But
yeah, here comes the but.
But on the job description, they didn't tell me it's gonna be 12 hours a day, seven days a week. But that's what it actually was.
It's great. Oh wait, is it China or Japan where like people really get super overworked, like even the suicide rate is
Yes, that's
high?
Japan.
Japan.
Yes, but
So it's almost the same culture.
yes, I'm sure you heard about 996.
No.
996. So in Western society it's 9 to 5, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
9 to
but
5.
in China it's 9 to 9, 6 days a week.
Can't do it. I can't do
And
it.
that's normal. Like that's the culture.
Everybody just
Yes,
works.
everybody does it.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of went through a long time of doing that, and I felt, oh my God, this needs to be changed, And also the leadership that I had in the companies that I worked in,
Yeah.
I was not satisfied with it, and I felt like creatives needs to be treated differently.
How
In a firm.
differently?
Like you need to give people some freedom to express themselves if they want them to be creative, right? In the company that I worked in, we were not allowed to talk to each other because the
Okay.
boss liked the office to be quiet.
Okay, first of all, that can't. Okay, that doesn't even make any sense.
Yes.
But was that the culture from where you're coming from?
No.
Well, okay, before we go back to that, what kind of person were you like in school? Are you like a social person? Are you an introvert?
No, I was
Are
an
you-
introvert, definitely.
Really?
Yes.
Well, then you should have fit in perfectly there. If they're telling you not to talk to
No.
anyone, clearly you don't want to talk to anyone in the
That's
first
not
place.
true. Well,
Yeah.
actually, no, it's the opposite. Like you want to, because
Or as
you
you
basically
grow-
working
Yeah.
12 hours like with the same people every day, right? So imagine if you are not talking to those people, who are you talking to? Like you don't have
You
don't have
crazy.
time to like have
Socialize.
personal life,
Yeah.
social life. So it was very, very annoying. And actually the older I grow, the less introvert I become. So I kind of teach myself to be more extroverted because it's just I think the introverted or extroverted you are depends on the way your parents the way
They raised you?
the way they raised you. So I was a middle child, so nobody had time for me. I was always in my corner drawing.
Oh yeah.
So that's why like I became an introvert, but it doesn't mean that I'm gonna be an introvert my entire life, right?
True, very true.
Yeah.
But it depends as well. It depends on maybe if that's the only way you get your own peace, because there's some people who are comfortable just being alone. But let's figure out how, because you're talking about moving to all these different countries and just waking up one day, and I'm assuming like you don't have like all your funds in check when you're moving to a place.
No, you don't.
Yeah, because the way you're speaking, it's like you're just taking a leap of faith.
Yes, every
Take a-
time.
Yeah, because now I'm just trying to understand. Okay, how about finances? How does that come to play? Because even when you're moving to a place like China, and maybe you want your first job, and they're not giving you maybe the exact amount of money
Yes,
that
they
you
didn't,
want.
yes.
They didn't.
Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah, because I'm assuming even if you have like your degrees and everything, they're like, but you don't have work experience, so maybe we can take advantage of you a bit.
Yes, exactly.
Did that happen?
Definitely.
Let's talk about that. Yeah.
So the first month I arrived in China, they deducted all my ticket expense, my visa expense, everything was deducted out of my salary. And actually the rent is very high in Shenzhen, in the city I was living. Yeah. So I was paying rent, and then at the end it was like 1,000 RMB left, which is like 15,000 Kenya shilling.
No way.
Yes.
You're lying.
Yes, true.
That's
So
not
I
possible. You're lying.
It's possible.
What?
So for a couple of months, I had to live on that, like 15,000 Kenya shilling a month. So what I was
Wait. Don't rush to it. First of all, I want to understand. So, if you get that, that should be enough for the house and food and transport to work.
No, deducted the rent. So
So what's left is the 15.
yes,
Okay. Food, transport.
everything.
Were you able to manage that?
Well, what I did, I walked to work, which is 40 minutes, good exercise.
But not
And
necessary.
I was eating very clean. Let's put it that way.
On a budget?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to go through some stuff to grow, right?
To appreciate things in life.
Yes, and
Yeah.
if you want to achieve something, you have to go through some hardships, right? If I didn't take that leap of faith, I would still be in Russia with my parents.
But here's the thing, is Russia a bad place to be?
Yes.
What? You're lying. Come on, really?
Have you been there?
No, but no, I haven't been there. So, so I can't say anything about it, but okay, how's that in comparison? Because I'm guessing if you saw the need to actually just move to a completely different country and start working from there, apart from actually instead of looking for work in Russia, then definitely, I mean, why would you say? And we don't have to say anything that will get you banned in going back to Russia.
Please.
So please, let's not do that. But is it just about lifestyle, the culture? What wasn't the best?
First, it's the culture. People are kind of very cold. And also because I'm not Russian ethnically.
You actually look Russian.
Thank you.
You do.
So.
But can they tell that you
yes, they can tell. And my family, if you look at my family, we look totally different. Like, okay, I got that, like, light skin and everything. But for example, my brother, he looks Middle Eastern. Completely. Like, he has olive skin and all that.
Yeah.
So he was treated differently. I wasn't. So you can tell, like, even in one family, can be different treatments, just based on your skin color, which we already felt in Russia. So, I mean, and our parents kind of raised us in very patriotic way. So we were always said, like, oh, Armenia is much better. Like, when you grow up, you need to move back to Armenia and stuff like that. So from the beginning, we didn't have this desire to stay in Russia. It
was already instilled in your mind.
Yes.
You need to do what you brought you here, maybe, and then move to.
Yeah, correct.
Sorry, the cake is too good. So in comparison to now the culture in China, were people treating you? Because I'm guessing if you move to a different country, you still look different to them.
Yes.
And they can see it as well,
yes.
right?
Actually, I moved in 2014. At that time, as many foreigners there. So they always try to take a picture of you in the metro.
Wait, I thought that just happens with black people.
No, I mean now maybe yes, because they got used to white people.
Oh yeah.
But in the beginning it was.
So you'd find people like this.
Yes.
Oh wow.
And then you say 1 picture 100 RMB and they stop taking pictures immediately. Sorry, I will erase it.
But just cause yes, work is important, but I'm just trying to figure out all these things that happen around you to just shape the kind of person you become and actually motivate you to keep chasing your dreams and everything. How's your social life like in China?
I have a few friends, not too many. I don't go out too much, so I just have like a group of friends that I always keep in touch with. And I have connections, I have a network, but in terms of close friends, very few. And mostly foreigners.
How is that, or why? Is it by choice, or is it hard to make friends?
It just happened like that. I had Chinese friends, but kind of with time they just disappear, or I just lose interest, or they
What do you
lose
mean?
interest.
Why?
It's just very different. Like in terms of
What do you mean?
girls,
No, if I make friends, like now we're already
Uh-huh.
friends. I mean, we're friends. You have
Yeah.
to deal with it. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you're
Yeah.
saying it in terms of girls.
Yes, it's just different culture. For example, like I want to work hard and make my own living, But in Chinese culture, the girl is waiting to get married for the husband to provide for her.
Ah.
And for me, it's very hard to be friends with this kind of person.
Wait, why?
Because we have totally different life views.
Mm-hmm.
We have totally different aspirations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I tried to have friendships.
Oh, but it was
but
hard because of how
yes, because at the end of the day,
you just believe in being independent, and
yes,
is that the case?
yes.
But I've heard this about like in Scandinavia,
Mm-hmm.
women are more breadwinners as compared to their men. Is that an actual fact or just a myth?
I don't know.
No?
I have never been to
Oh,
Scandinavia.
you never?
Yeah.
But it's like a neighboring country.
No.
It's not?
No. We are based in like near Turkey, Iran, so Middle East.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. I know. I'm talking about Russia.
Oh,
though.
Russia.
I'm talking about
Yes.
Russia.
Well,
If you're in
that's
Russia,
north of Russia, yes.
but how's the culture there?
In
Because
Russia.
you grew up
Well,
there.
Russian women are very strong.
Yeah.
Yes,
They're
and
more independent.
yeah, more independent. They
Yeah.
provide for their families.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Russian men are like. But I don't want to generalize the entire nation.
No.
There are many nice Russian guys, like my
Yeah,
friends.
but I've
Yeah.
had like like a lot of just women from there who
Mhm.
have like the kind of the same
Mm.
theory, and even in terms of I heard, where was it, that if you have like a baby, if a woman has like a baby,
Uh-huh.
she actually leaves the baby behind with the dad as she goes back to work. I don't know where that was. And the dad gets like a leave days to take care
yeah,
of the
I
baby.
think it's in like Sweden or somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I'm not sure where, but I'll just get my facts right before we go back to that. So yeah, it was hard for you to connect with these
Mm-hmm.
girls in China because they've been raised
Yes,
differently.
I don't blame them.
They've been
Yeah.
conditioned to,
Yes.
and maybe in Kenya as well, that might be the case.
Yes,
Yeah.
maybe.
No, but in Kenya we have both. We have like a lot of independent
Yeah,
women, and we also
On
have
your
like
podcast, like all the girls are very independent,
yeah,
entrepreneurs.
it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it scares me. It
Why?
scares me. It scares me. No, here's the thing.
Are you?
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'll tell you that. You see, the best thing about the podcast is a lot of these women, before I started doing the podcast,
Mhm.
there was no platform for them to actually speak about like such things. So if you see somebody on Instagram, let's say like for your case,
Mhm.
if I see you on Instagram, I'd see a picture of you smiling, maybe a picture of you after the gym,
Mhm.
a picture maybe at a coffee house.
Yep.
I'll be like, she's just maybe a model, just
Okay.
regular model.
Uh-huh.
But now you see, if you don't talk about like your all these stripes that you've earned, like education-wise and business-wise things that you have going on, because like on Instagram, people want like to either see or hear. So if they see, all they see is pictures, it leaves a lot for interpretation.
Yeah, that's why I write long captions about what I'm going through.
Yeah.
It might be a pretty picture, but
Yeah.
I make sure I write down my truth so people know, like,
Also, you do those
Yeah.
captions where you
yes.
dig deep on,
Yes.
like just, this is what I'm going through.
Yes.
I'm trying to achieve this. Independent. Are you a feminist?
I don't like the term.
At least one person doesn't
I
like
feel
the
like
term.
people just cover up with this term and then
Mhm.
they just keep saying, "Oh, I'm a feminist," but yes, the men should take care of women. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't make sense,
yeah,
right?
how those two go together? Like,
They
don't.
just, yeah, you, I mean, I think, and not to bash anyone, of course, it's kind of like a slippery slope, because now we don't know what you want exactly from my point as a man, I'm trying to think of like, okay, you're claiming all this independence, but at the same time, you're like, if this man that I'm getting with doesn't have all these things together, take care of my bills, take care of all these things, I'm like, okay, now where does the whole independence thing come in?
Yes, exactly. So
it's conflicting and different interpretations as well for different people. Okay, now back to China. We're talking about this just social life in general. So I'm assuming if at the beginning you're not getting enough money, I mean, entertainment-wise, clearly, is there cash for remaining to entertain yourself?
Well, the first 2 months, no, but later I started to get more, and eventually I changed my job to a more like higher salary job. So yes, I was going out starting from the second year.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, but there is not much like culture in Shenzhen. Like there are different cities in China are completely different. So Shenzhen is a very new city. So there is not much culture going on there. But there are like clubs, there are places you can go out to. But all of that is very new, and that's why it's just very like not there yet.
Okay.
But places like Beijing, Shanghai, they are much better in terms of
just
entertainment, yes,
right?
Social life.
But what do you do for fun? We'll still get back to work, because I'm just trying to get, a glimpse of the kind of person you are.
Okay.
Because that's how you drive, that's how you propel to being where you actually are now. And I think that story will enable me to just, and the listeners to understand the kind of person we are.
So what do we do for fun? We go out to for dancing.
You dance?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Just hanging out with friends, dinner, dancing. What else?
So that means
gym.
just don't just tell me the only thing you do for fun is going out and drinking, because drinking and dancing go hand in hand. Is that what we're saying?
I don't drink much, and I don't get drunk. Being from where I'm from.
Oh, Russia, right?
Yes, but in my culture in Armenia, we start drinking from we just drink with our family, having family dinner or lunch.
From what age?
5, 6. It's your parents force you to drink.
Who's serving children alcohol? 5,
yes.
6.
But even
also,
last
you just
time,
get used to it.
Yes, so alcohol doesn't have much effect on your body. I'd never been drunk in my life. I get tipsy, but not
really
wasted. Yeah.
Oh wow. I say here that Kenyans start feeding your children alcohol.
I think it's a good thing, because once you forbid something, people just want to overuse it,
Yeah. Okay. So then, just guessing, that never excited you as you were growing up.
Yes.
You'd see alcohol and just decide, maybe I want to drink, maybe I don't.
Last
but at
time,
16?
Last time I went back home, we had breakfast.
Yeah.
And they made a special soup with cow leg inside and stuff like that. Yeah. And you have to drink vodka with that. And my parents forced me to drink vodka for breakfast. Something special.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And I guess, you see, the funny thing is that when I even get to live through other people in the podcast, because that's interesting and intriguing to me, because how you can feed a child alcohol here, if anybody saw you, just child services are called, first of all.
Oh, serious?
Yeah. Neighbors are called, you're having a meeting, they have to what's going on with you. You're spoiling a kid. But you see, here we are in a completely different culture where this is normal. So by the time guys are teenagers, I'm guessing even buying cigarettes, I hear 12 you can buy. Is it 12?
No, cigarettes 18.
16? 18?
Yes.
In
but
Russia or
Armenia? Both. I
Both?
think, yeah.
Okay. But alcohol you can buy?
No, I think alcohol is also legally it's 18.
Oh, okay. But it's just in the houses where...
Yes, exactly. You drink with your family. You are not going to party when you are
you don't really need
12
to go.
years old.
Oh, no, yeah. You're not going to any clubs at 12 years old. Okay, so my next question would be, your experience in China, how do you grow? How do you move from being employed to actually starting your own company? Because that involves like a lot of, first of all, money, time, and just research as well. Because I'm guessing you're hiring people from a different culture. You also don't know how they, because if you're dealing with like Kenyans, you probably, there's some, okay, we'll get to that first of all. Let's talk about now China. How do you move from, how do you transition from just being employed to actually having your own farm?
That's a very good question, because it's a very long process. At least it was for me. When I moved to China and I started going out, I started meeting people, and I just started getting small projects, like for example apartments, because I would always say, oh, I'm an interior designer, I do branding and this kind of things. So I would put myself out there and people would notice my work and they would like it and they will come to me for some small projects. And at that time, because I was working on a regular job, so I had to work at night.
Oh, so this is like your side hustle?
Yeah, side hustle thing.
Yeah.
So sleeping 4 hours per day, stuff like that, for 3 years. And then at some point, my side hustle was making me more money and bringing more. Yeah. But the thing with that is that it's very risky, because one day you might have many projects and then the next day nobody is coming your way. So if you don't have a company and you are not doing marketing for yourself, it's very hard to sustain the clients coming in. So yeah, when I got my first commercial project built, which was a coffee shop, I was like, okay, so this is already like my business card in terms of I already have a space in Shenzhen that represents my work. So probably that's good enough for getting more clients in. So I decided to quit my full-time job, and so I started freelancing first. I was just a full-time freelancer, and even my previous companies would throw some work my way. Like they're like, oh, really? Yeah, we need your help.
Like they really did respect your work that much.
Yes. So my last job, I was creative art director in the Shenzhen office of, like, so their original office is in Shanghai, headquarters, and then they opened a Shenzhen office and they hired me to be the art director. So when I quit that job, there was nobody to take care of the design.
Position,
so they keep outsourcing projects to me, and it also like helped me a lot. I'm actually very grateful for that. It helped me a lot to start my business. Yeah, because I had support from my previous company.
Yeah.
What else? So I started getting more and more projects. At some point, I was like, okay, I can't do all this work myself, so I need to hire people.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this story, but
tell me.
The first person I hired, designer, Chinese designer, he actually sued me for firing him.
Wait, so, did you have contracts?
Yes.
You had contracts?
Yes, of course.
So how do they sue you if you have contracts?
So contracts, first of all, are both in English and Chinese. At that point, my Chinese is not that great.
Is he the one who presented the contract to you?
No, I wrote the contract. Like I got some sample contracts, then I put them together and so this can be a good contract. So I hired this designer guy, and after 1.5 months of, he was on probationary period. So according to the contract, it's 2 months of probationary period. Why I put 2 months? Because all my previous companies gave me 2 months for probationary period. So I was like, okay, so this must be, it must be good, right? And after 1.5 months, he was not performing as well as I expected him to. So I decided to fire him. So I told him, look, we cannot go like this. So I have to let you go. And then he was like, no, you cannot.
Oh.
Like, why? Oh, because if you want to terminate the contract, it has to be a mutual agreement.
Mm-hmm.
And my probationary period is already over, and you need to notify me like 2 or 3 weeks in advance.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, it's not over. It's like, yes, it's over, because according to the law,
Okay.
according to the law, for 1 year contract, you can only have 1 month probationary period.
Oh, and was he right?
Turns out, yes.
Oh.
So all my previous employees have been doing this to me, and I had no idea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so he sued me through the labor bureau, but fortunately we could like negotiate things through labor bureau, and at the end we just paid him off for 1.5 months salary.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
And he was
moved
okay
on.
with that. But is it like kind of tricky? Because I'm just guessing, when you're settled there, do like people already know like they can take advantage of you because you don't know about
Yes,
the
because
ins
I'm
and
a
outs.
foreigner.
Yeah.
Yes.
And but you had already stayed there for quite some time. So is it that you just weren't aware, or you didn't put that into consideration when you're starting
First
your
I
own?
didn't check like carefully. I didn't have a discussion with a lawyer about the labor contract.
Yeah.
So yes, it was also my mistake.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
definitely.
mean, it's just paying attention maybe
Yes.
too. And at times you're just starting something innocently, but now that's where you live and learn. And I'm sure like
Yes.
anybody else who's coming under your wing,
Uh-huh.
like they go through like a proper screening
Check,
process.
yes.
Yeah, a proper
Exactly.
screening process.
Yes.
So just doing interior branding and architecture in Shenzhen.
Yes.
Is it competitive? Is it like, some place where like you just landed and realized like, oh, I mean, I'm doing way better designs than what's existing here already. I mean, is it competitive, or was it easy for you to just like, according to now, like once you've actually opened like your own firm, is it much easier for you to like just present projects that are mind-blowing than?
Well, of course, when you have your own firm, it's much easier because clients trust you much more, and you can land bigger projects. Because people who are willing to give a lot of money to a designer, they would not go just to like a random freelance designer, right? They need a company that they can trust. So yes, it gets easier when you get a company, but of course your expenses, your overhead makes you kind of worried all the time, and you are trying to get bigger projects, and at the end, well, most of the design agencies fail when they try to get too big of a project because they are not able to handle it, and they just fail the project, and then from that they cannot like get over it. In the beginning, when I first started, it was not competitive at all, but like Chinese designers are getting better and better with time, and they are very fast. So now like there are many good Chinese designers and design agencies, and I feel like the competition is getting tougher and tougher with every year.
So if we're talking we are talking about just things on that line, what other hardships would you say, apart from the guy suing you and just maybe upcoming competition, what other hardships would you say you've experienced in just setting up a business in China?
I don't think it's too difficult. I think in every country it's almost the same. But what is difficult is to start a company as a foreigner in a country.
Do you need to have like a citizen as part of your company? There's some countries here they have to.
Yes. So only 30% of employees can be foreigners. So if I'm the foreign founder of the company and I'm hiring, it means that the next 3 people should be Chinese.
Oh, wow.
But that's not the hard part. The hard part is that in a foreign country, you don't have the resources that the local people have. For example, I cannot go to a bank and get a loan.
Oh, you really need to have your money, first of all, on point before.
Yes. Also, for example, I don't have the connections that the local designers have, right? If I'm getting a big project and I need to like introduce a big office to the client, which I don't have. I only have small office with 3 people. What would local designer do? They, of course, they have friends and they know people who run big offices. So we'll just, okay, can I use your office for one day to introduce to my client? They do that, and of course, because there's a relationship, they can come back to that office, you know. So, like relationships, network, resources, this kind of things is a disadvantage of like
as
running.
A foreigner.
Yeah, as a foreigner. But I think it's not only in China. I think in any country that, as a foreigner, you try to start a business, that will be a case. Also, I think that a lot of attention. You bring a lot of attention because. Okay, so you are a foreigner coming to our country to make money.
You're getting all these big projects.
Yes. You know, also this aspect.
Which aspect? Oh, you don't want to talk about it.
No, I mean, I think it's like normal in any country that they will pay more attention to foreign businesses in terms of how legal are they, paying taxes, all that stuff.
In fact, like the tax companies will be like, they'll be like, okay, but that's interesting. But so you've decided to, even though I know you move around a lot, you've decided to maintain like your station in Shenzhen, and you're comfortable being there.
Yes.
Okay. So how do you figure your way around this country called Kenya? I still don't.
Okay, so
that's still a puzzle. And how did you run across my podcast?
Okay.
Before we
I
go.
think I followed Art Cafe and then they reposted something from your Instagram.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, okay, this is interesting because I really have passion for podcasts. I don't have time to do it myself, but I'm trying to be guest on different podcasts.
Oh, yeah. If you ever need like just tips on how to do like your own podcast, I can show you that. And you can even start with just something small like just this mixer, and that's it. Forget about all these other things. Exaggerated, they can make you like just give up on doing a podcast. I see. But you can start with something simple as this.
Okay, I think
I'll give you tips on that. Okay, so at Cafe, thank you for that as well. Yeah. So oh my, I don't want to forget. What were we talking about before? Before my chain of thought. Oh my God, no.
You forgot.
No, how do you transition?
Oh, to Kenya.
To Kenya, yeah. How do you transition moving from like, just this amazing place and then just coming to do projects in Kenya?
So it was through, of course, a Chinese client. So
who's
so
based
a Chinese
in Kenya?
client approached us to do a project in Kenya. And that was very interesting. So we said yes. And after doing the design, I came to Kenya to follow up the construction. So I stayed here for 2.5 months to follow up the construction. And I loved the place. And I just decided to come back and visit again and see if there are like more opportunities, because from what I see there are a lot of opportunities. It's a growing market, a lot of construction going on. So yeah, it's very interesting.
Do you like the country?
I love it.
What have you done? Like, we'll get back to work, but what do you like, the signatures that, have you kissed the giraffes?
No.
No?
No, why would I do that?
Have you seen the pictures?
I think so.
People
from
say
Giraffe Center?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You haven't gone?
No, I haven't been there.
Do you want to go?
Yeah, why not?
It's like 5 minutes from here.
Oh, really?
Like after the podcast, we can, if it doesn't rain,
maybe
that is.
Maybe not today.
Yeah, no, the weather seems a bit. I don't even think the giraffes want to be kissed in this weather.
No, I think what I like the most is the people here. First of all, very nice people, very welcoming, and English-speaking country, which is a big plus after China.
It's a relief, yeah?
Yes. Yes,
so you're loving your stay.
Yeah.
And what do you think of just like the what you came to do? Is it like architecture, interior, or branding, or all of them?
Interior renovation.
Interior renovation. What do you think of like just the interior structures that you've seen so far? Because I'm just guessing, like, if you're from that profession and you go to a new country, the first thing that you always keep looking at, you're like, oh, that interior looks good, that looks good.
I love some places.
You can mention them.
Okay, so I like...
If you want, that is.
Yes, I love CJs.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes, I really love how they combine the historical elements with very modern style. And the color palette is very nice, and like they're using very nice materials, so I really love that place. Art Cafe, I love the one in Junction Mall.
Oh, yeah.
That one is nice. I've been to the one in Yaya. I didn't like it that much. Can I say that?
Yeah. No, you can say it. Come on. You're an expert at this. Okay. Yes, you can say it.
So, because the lighting, they really need more lighting. Like, it's very dark during the afternoon, in the afternoon. So, they can just, like, use simple, candles, like electric candles on the table will be much better.
To create more, like, just...
warm atmosphere,
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And what about this place? My selection of the
this
place
one?
Where I'm doing like the podcast.
It's very nice. It's good for them because you can see the logo.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Free advert. I don't know. Maybe it's not free.
No, you can say anything you want to this podcast. Trust me, you have the freedom to do that. Don't feel like you have to hold back.
Nice. Yeah, it's nice. It's like outdoorsy. Yeah, love it.
So CJ is definitely outstanding from what you've seen. Any other place, or have you really been around like Nairobi properly?
Not really. Like, I haven't been to like bars. Oh, there's a Mexican restaurant I've been to.
Mercado?
Yes. That one is also nice.
You like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole just theme and everything.
Yes, very well done.
Very creative as well, right? So, if you were to pick like just one section, like just in Kenya, and change it to something different, something maybe that you saw and you're like, I can do something nice to this place and make it just look fresh, or which place would you say would need something like that? Because we've mentioned like the ones that stood out, but what place did you walk in and then you're like, okay, not like it's bad, but I think I can work. I can
Well, just as I mentioned, the Art Cafe in Yaya, they need some more lighting. What else? Yeah, basically I feel like the weak point in Kenyan design is the lighting.
A lot of places, natural light.
No, I mean a lot of places are underlit. They need more lighting. Even some like restaurants or bars. Yes.
They need more light.
More lighting, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What does that help with?
I don't mean like general make it brighter, but some accent lighting.
Okay, so
for
that's
example,
like
some
mood
hidden
lights?
light. Yeah, some mood lights, some hidden lights.
I don't know the interior terms, so my apologies. Apologies.
I don't know, some hidden LED lights, like just to give it a mood. Because from what I see, it's basically those kind of lights, like very basic.
Oh yeah, just like normal, nothing outstanding. So you don't even pay and now that you've mentioned it, I've never even paid attention to it. I've noticed it right now. Okay, so that makes...
I also wonder how this place... You see, because
at
like
night?
They only have this kind of basic lights.
Yeah.
And they don't have anything accent, like, for example, just for this table.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah, true. Maybe you should check it out at night and actually just see exactly how it feels. But what you're talking about actually definitely is coming from an expert. This is what you do for a living. So it's not like somebody will hear that and just take it for granted.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely pass the message. No, they'll see the podcast. They'll see the podcast and see what we're talking about. So far, with the projects that you're doing in the country, do you see yourself staying here longer, or just after you're done with work, you're going back to Shenzhen?
I will be here for some time. I think there are a lot of opportunities here. So even like from the same Chinese developers that are doing a lot of development in the country. So I see myself coming back often. Yes.
But you don't
not staying.
Have you worked with any Kenyan clients?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Yes.
You're in
But
for a big treat.
Okay.
No, but I'm just saying that would give you also a just different feel on how like just Kenyans do business as well. Because I'm guessing like even for now the client that you're dealing with, it's just the experience is still there.
With the Chinese.
With the Chinese.
Yes.
Yeah.
The company runs like a Chinese company, but because I did the project management, and I had my colleague also project manager from Kenya, so I kind of learned how the country runs a little bit, how the projects are done here, how the construction is done. So I learned a little bit. I got some like glimpse of it,
Now, what do you think of how just the working systems are,
Okay.
culture, how people work?
I think it's kind of it's not as much work as like Chinese do. Like as I said, 9 to 9, 6 days a week, right?
Yeah.
In
It's
Kenya,
not
there
that
is no
crazy.
such culture. Yes, but I feel like still people are hardworking and they strive for being better, like getting better at what they do. I think it's good. So I like that part because they also respect the private life and social life of people, right?
People,
Yes.
yeah. So if it's your weekend or it's your time off,
Yes,
you can go and
exactly.
actually.
Yes.
Okay, that's a.
Because I saw like my Kenyan colleague how hard it was for him to come work to Sundays when he has his family. Like he has to spend his Sundays with his family, and then the Chinese company requires him to come to work on Sundays.
Yeah.
So I kind of prefer the Kenyan way.
Yeah. Like for weekends or for resting.
I want to get fired from my project.
No. We're just talking about, things that, and all this, it's just cultural differences.
Yes.
And if we don't have conversations about them, like how else would somebody know if they set foot in this place, how things work compared to, and even what you mentioned earlier, you said, so what did you mean by when you said Armenia has a different, what do you call it? Do you want to talk about that?
Okay.
Oh no.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that?
No problem.
Okay.
So
hold on.
The reputation of
Yeah,
Armenians in Kenya. So when I first came to Kenya, I was just trying to make some friends, and I just tried to see if there are any Armenians in Kenya.
Yeah.
Because we are all over the place. Like we have a huge diaspora. So I googled Armenians in Kenya.
Oh.
And I think you already know what came up.
No. I know. Those troublemakers.
Yeah. Like, oops.
No, but that was just one incident, though.
Yes, but I think it's very famous.
Very. Very.
So when I say I'm Armenian, most of the Kenyans, okay.
That's the only memory they have from Armenians, of course. In fact, that's the only memory I know. Highly reputable on that note.
Yes.
So
I'm here to change it.
Oh, please. What would you say just from your journey? Survival tactics when you're moving to all these different places. What just makes you comfortable in? Because I'm guessing, where's your mom right now? She's in
Russia.
Brother?
Yeah, brother, sister, both in Germany.
Yeah, so now here's the thing. How do you just, how are you comfortable just, moving around, working in all these different places and, just staying away from family? How do you survive? Because you have to be like, you either have to be a very strong person or, at times you just miss them at night and, cry yourself to sleep.
No.
No, but I'm just trying to understand because, you're like away from just your country, first of all, culture, family, but how do you just mix that? How are you able to survive that just mentally?
Sometimes it gets hard. especially when you're in a different culture, like you miss home, you miss your parents.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've been living alone more than 10 years now, so it's kind of, I got used to it.
How often do you see them?
Once a year.
Or you make sure go visit your brother
Yes.
and then go
Yes.
visit your mom?
Yes, usually we just gather all together in one
Okay.
place.
Russia? Okay, that's not a bad thing. And since we're just talking about, family and stuff, in my podcast, I just try and balance out like everything, right?
Okay.
Why are you looking
I know
at me
what's
like
coming.
that? No, just because it's all about the 4 pillars of life. Health, wealth. We'll finish with health.
Okay.
That health is not that important. We'll finish with it.
Come on,
like,
it's the most important thing.
Yes, I know it's the most important thing, but I just want to pick on all these different topics because the podcast is about the 4 pillars of life: health,
Okay.
wealth, love, and happiness. So since I just brought up family, let's just talk about love as well. I mean, what's your situation? Because you're always like moving around. I mean, if you have a boyfriend, he definitely is missing you because, or does he get to see you at least? Does he at least get to see you once a year? Does he at least get once a year? Yeah. Or I mean, how's that for you? You've talked like about so much independence and like you haven't even mentioned anything about relying anything on a man.
Yeah, because
No. You don't need it.
I don't.
You don't need it. Okay, so what's your situation like?
Okay, so I used to be in a long distance relationship for 5 years.
Ah, come on.
Yeah, then I just
5.
exactly. I was like, come on, that's enough. So, and then that's it.
You guys just decided to,
Yes.
but you used to see him a lot.
No, like once in 6 months.
So when I'm joking about once a year, it's actually something that
Yeah.
was actually.
So yeah, of course, it cannot be sustained for a long time, or at least
Yeah,
people
even if
need
you
to
try.
make a decision, make a plan. But since there was no plan, so like, okay, it's not gonna work out like this.
Or were you dating the Armenians who were in Kenya? Or maybe that's why you're like. No, but okay. What kind of qualities do you look for, like in a guy? But so now you are single right now.
I prefer not to talk about my
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's always a
Yes.
safe,
private life is private life.
Yeah, that's okay. But like, what kind of qualities do you look for in a guy?
I always look for someone I can learn from, someone that is more mature than me. Yes, so that's
Mature
Yes.
meaning like 'cause we have like
not like mentally,
in Kenya,
mature,
or
not
'cause-
like older, but
or in
mentally
Kenya
mature.
you have like a lot of sugar daddies
no,
who
no,
like
no, no. I don't mean like age.
Oh.
I mean like mentally mature.
Yeah.
Somebody who can be there for you, like emotionally.
yeah, teach you new things.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. What's your stand on just like the whole like just because we mentioned like how we don't want to talk about like the term feminist. Yeah, but what's like just what's your stand on like just maybe gender roles?
Okay. So
Yeah.
I think there should be equality. Like if you say I'm a feminist, then you should be like totally. The relationship has to be totally equal. It means you cannot ask. I mean,
Yeah.
you can, but how equal it is if you want the man to provide for you, and you just do whatever you want. Like you, even if you like follow your passion and do something you're passionate about, but maybe the guy also wants to do something he's passionate about, but he's supposed to like provide for you, then he cannot do it, right? So it should be totally, you should sit down and like totally discuss everything. Like, okay, maybe sometimes
Are
maybe
you-
even like the girl, maybe the guy is like doing like startup or something, right?
Yeah.
And then it's very hard if you're doing startup, and then you also need to provide for your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Then it's like double trouble, right?
Yeah.
So
she understands me. She
you
understands
need to put
me.
yourself in the guy's shoes.
Yeah.
And it has to go both ways.
Are you that kind of person? Like, let's say if you're dating someone and, you know, they are going through something like that. They're actually starting up and everything. Do you chip in? Because there's this thing that I think it's a lot in East Africa. Like, let's say if you're a couple, how this saying goes, I can't say it in Swahili because you won't understand, but I'll just translate it in English. Basically, it's like, if let's say we were a couple, the money that I bring in the house is our money, and the money that you get at the end of the month is your money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's how there's that like a little saying, like, you know, my money is our money and then your money. Like, yeah.
I think if the guy wants it to be like that,
yeah, it's okay.
It's okay, but I don't mind. But if the situation is that to make things happen as a couple, you need to bring money to the table, both of you, then I think it's fair. I think there is nothing unfair or nothing to complain about.
That's okay.
Because I know some girls would complain, oh, last month I paid the rent, I'm not supposed to pay the rent, he's supposed to be paying the rent. Like, you are both in it together. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to be there for each other.
Yeah, sometimes maybe you're supposed to like come forward and be like, okay.
Would you date a guy who's not just in a good financial position?
I mean, that doesn't really matter for me.
Oh, it doesn't?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Because you can meet people in like some point of their journey.
Yeah.
When they are not in the good position. If you look at any successful person.
Yeah.
They've all been through that.
Yeah.
And if you are not there for him, you are not ready to be there for this person, then what's the point of the relationship, right?
Hear that, guys? Very important.
Yeah, if you don't support somebody...
Yeah. When they are on their journey... when they're on their journey, and that's the one time they actually need just your support. It can be like even just emotional support.
Yes.
During that time, that will boost them and actually make them keep chasing their dream and what they're looking for. Yes,
and becoming successful.
Yeah.
And then, like, you will both be rewarded for what you put in.
True. Now, let's just say from your culture, because now I'm not sure, because I can't say like from your culture, and you've grown up in Russia, you're in China, here you are in Kenya, but just from I'd say from your point of view, do you feel like the pressure of settling down?
Oh, yes.
You do?
My parents.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Like your mom, is she like, yo, when are we?
Yes, every time they call me, like every single time they call me, they are like, so all this traveling you are doing, so when are you going to like find a husband or something? Yes.
So there's a lot of pressure, right? But how about just yourself in just your personal goals? Is there like a way you're saying that maybe you're saying by the time I get to this age, I need to have a husband. By the time I get to this age, I need to have like 2 kids. Is that something that you plan, or you just want to let it happen when the time is right?
There is something, because, you know, woman's body cannot have children until whenever she wants.
Yeah.
So there is some limit.
The biological
biological limit.
Yeah.
So of course I want to have a family. I want to have kids. So I'm just trying to, you know,
do it
not
with the right
take
person.
It too long.
Yeah. Just get the right person in time, right? Okay. I just see you tiptoeing around this subject. You're like avoiding a lot of questions.
Yeah, I don't like talking about personal.
No, I know, but you know, the whole podcast, like even for me, as much as I would want to just talk about just business.
Mm-hmm.
Like people connect to real life situations. 'Cause
Yes.
you see, like we see all these people like, Steve Jobs
Mm-hmm.
and all these people that we look up to, like the successful people and everything. But they do
Are
have
they
like,
happy?
that's the thing.
Yes.
That's the thing. They see like Steve Jobs had like just some crazy thing going on in the family, like those wrangles and everything. But he had like the most successful business on the side.
Yes.
So it's just finding
The balance.
like that kind of balance in life. And
But actually, if you look at like successful and happy people, most of them don't expose their personal life. Yes.
well, they have
Because
well,
exposing it brings problems.
now the press and everything.
Yes, now
yeah.
people start to
Analyze your life.
Analyze, exactly. And this person doesn't suit you, this and that,
Yeah. Okay, now since we're we'll still have to talk about this dating thing. I know. I mean, unfortunately, I just have to keep asking because this is where like I'm always like just waiting. Cause
That's your favorite subject,
yes,
isn't it?
yes. Cause you see, like I bring a lot of diverse. Just even when it comes to women, diverse. Everybody has just different beliefs on how they want to settle down and all these things. What they're looking for in a guy and everything. Okay, you've stayed in China for how long?
5 years.
5 years. And before that, you were in
Italy,
Italy
Russia.
and Russia. So now all these different places, and now you're in Kenya as well, right? So have you, when you're dating, is race like something that you put into consideration?
No, not really.
No? Have you ever dated someone who looks like me?
Yes.
I'm like, yes. Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
Why are you laughing? I'm just asking.
Do you put it into consideration?
What?
Do you put it into consideration?
No, I don't care because here's the thing. I've been raised, okay, not being raised, but ever since I just turned like, I went to college. After that, just even through working, because I was working in an ad agency, my clientele, like even if you go through my Instagram, like I have such a diverse group of friends and people. It's quite diverse. So to me, it doesn't really matter. And even for me, the problem is like just now even picking, because like, this person from this culture is so interesting. This person from this
culture. That's always a problem for guys.
No, but I'm just
Picking
saying. No, I'm just saying because if I was like, let's just say into a certain like group of people, it would be easy for me to narrow down. Because I'd be like, you know what? I just date this kind of people only. But now like I'm so open-minded in how I interact with people. It's so confusing because all different people from different cultures have something special about them. And to me, it's just mind-blowing. I wish I didn't know so much people like that because now it's a problem.
I don't blame you. There are so many gorgeous girls. Like Kenyan girls are just
amazing.
Yes.
You like them?
I like looking at them. Very beautiful.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, but we do have like amazing, just girls in general, the country. But I'm just saying, like, I'm just used to so many different people, and I think once you interact with all different kinds of people, it becomes like you can't really be picky. Because you can't say I don't like this kind of people, yet you have like a best friend who's from that like culture. It just makes no sense at all. Okay. Interesting. So, do you want to skip to another subject? Or do you wanna, look at you like, oh yes. Yes. Can I ask one more before we jump into a different?
Just fast.
Just one more. Okay, if you were to just like settle down, do you believe in this thing of like, how would I say it? Let's say you have like 2 kids.
Okay.
Do you believe in just taking a slight step back? Because like the way you put in too many hours like right now, just do you believe in like just now, since you have a company, putting people in positions and actually spending more time with your kids? Or you'd be like that kind of mother who's like, you know what, I still have to make this paper, so you're like out of the house like from morning till evening?
I think at some point I will like slow down and
Yeah.
take care like of myself, take care of my family.
Mm.
But I always said that I can't wait to be pregnant, so that everybody thinks that you are chilling, but you are hustling harder than everybody else, and then after that, like, you are way ahead.
True. It just
Right?
makes sense. But what drives you? Do you think money drives you more or passion? When you wake up like in the morning, like what really gives you that kick to like, this contract has like X amount of money?
No.
Or is it like you just genuinely like really love what you do and that's what?
No. First, I love what I'm doing. Second, I just want to put my name, put my country on the map, because now we are not known for like major things. Like when you say Armenian, people say, "Oh, Kardashians," and then in Kenya, you say, "Oh,
are they Kardashians?
Why did I say this?
Okay.
You know, so I'm trying. Like my goal is to put my country on the map.
Yeah.
So I just want to build a company. Like,
but now that you've mentioned it, and I kind of look at similarities.
Why did I say this?
Now that you mentioned it,
now see,
like even how you just put your hair. Oh, that's an Armenian thing. Now you said it. I didn't say it. You brought it up. Yeah. So let's go back to what
you already know.
No.
Okay.
So let's go back to what you're saying. Like you want to put your country in.
Yes, on the map. So
yeah.
I want to build something meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Like, it's not the money thing, but of course I want to be financially
successful,
secure, financially stable.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that's not a bad thing, because the current society, like in fact, if you think about it, as an entrepreneur, everything evolves around money at the end of the day.
But at the same time, if you focus on the money
too much,
and you're not focusing on your goal, on your mission, eventually you're gonna fail, because then you're not gonna be true to yourself.
It will lose. You won't be living for. You won't have a meaning to actually what you're doing in the first place.
Exactly.
You'll just be making money, but there's just no meaning or even satisfaction, I'm guessing. What would you say is like your just dream project or projection for your company, maybe in the next couple of years? Where do you want it to be? What are you working towards?
I really love hospitality design. So, like, my dream project is a big hotel. Yes, that would be great.
Okay, let me ask you. Have you been to a coastal region of Kenya?
Nope.
What? So let me just tell you, if you go there and like you're a designer and stuff, you see like just the land, the spaces that are there, like just where there's sand next to the ocean, blue waters, to blow your mind away.
Okay, I should go.
No, you should. Are you planning to just move around the country and just see different places?
Yes, but not right now, because work
is crazy.
Not very crazy, but I have to be on site like
almost you have
day.
To almost overlook what's happening, right?
Yes. But I definitely plan to go to Mombasa.
Have you heard about Mombasa? Or
yes,
just seen
I heard
pictures?
many stories about Mombasa, even from your podcast.
Oh yeah. No, but it's actually a very beautiful place, and I'm just thinking for an interior designer or just an architect, once you have like a glance of the place, so many things will run across your mind, and even you might be proposing like next projects to like some of your clients, like, hey, why don't we do this in Mombasa? Why don't we do? Especially now that you mentioned like hotel, it's one of those places where you can actually do a kind of thing and give it that beach vibe and stuff. Do you have like beaches in Armenia that are
no.
Russia?
Russia, yes. Like, I grew up by the beach.
Wow. So here I am trying to think that I'm telling you something that will blow your mind away.
In Russia are very different. It's not like
tropical.
Sand and blue water. No, it's they have the gravel.
Oh no, I can't do
Yes.
that. No, that doesn't work for me. Oh no. And in Shenzhen,
In Shenzhen, yes, there is a beach.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's like normal, like sand and
but more
palms.
beautiful if you compare with the pictures on.
It's beautiful, but it's so crowded.
You need to go.
If you go
you know,
there
you
in
need
the
to go-
summertime, it's so crowded.
I think I've seen those crazy videos where like it's a lot of people, like just there's no actually space. You can't jog, you can't.
Yes.
You'll go to Mombasa. If you go there, like let's say if you're stressed with work and you just want to go and like just for the weekend and just come clear your head, go to Mombasa, Diani, Kilifi, Watamu. Tropical. I think you'll just be like do you like seafood?
Not that much.
Okay. And you can just grab animals from the water and throw them up and down for fun. If you don't like them as food, you can just do that for fun. So yeah, I think we've really talked about like quite a lot, and I'm just curious to see like what you'll do next and just like your journey, because I see your posts on Instagram and it's just because I don't know anything about interior, but I always respect the overall look, the finished look. But I just wish I knew or I paid more attention to like interior, because like I'm even thinking like, for how long do you think you'll be in Kenya?
For another month.
Or just 1 month?
Yes.
And then you're done with this project, or you just
We
depending
will see.
on?
Depends. Like if there are other projects coming up, maybe I'll go back to China and then come back again.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like I told you, now since we're friends, come on, this is there to stay. This is there to stay. So I think we've just touched on like almost everything that needs to be touched on. Or if you want, we can still go back to the subject of love. No.
I think we are good.
I think we're good. Yeah, so I mean, I really appreciate that you just made time to come and talk to me. And I don't know did you have a good time?
Yes, I love it. It was fun.
That was the whole
Very
intention.
chillax.
Yeah, like I told you, it was just gonna be like just a conversation.
Yes.
And for people to just, I didn't want it to be like just work, because it's characters that shape who we are and how we just maneuver, and even just how your artwork, the overall look of your artwork is shaped from like just your character,
from experiences.
and how you run your business. All those things come to play.
Yes.
So I really appreciate you just sharing.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime we can still do like a part 2 before when you go there and then come back, or when your episode comes out, we can do like a little Skype thing, and then I can share it like on my Instagram
cool.
to promote just the episode. Yeah, so I mean, where do you want people to find you on Instagram? I know Instagram is super big for you, and that's how you even get like a lot of your clients.
Yes. So I'm on Instagram at Kostandian, and my company link is just in my page, in my bio. So it's a bit long, so I'm not gonna say it. So
No,
Kostandian.
I'll put, and partners.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not
Yes.
too long.
Yes.
I'll put the links down below on the video and Instagram and everything. So I'll make sure you follow her. Just if you want some insight on somebody who's been moving around different places, just to pick their brain on interior or design or branding, reach out to her. Just talk to her, have a conversation.
Yes, I would love to like help, even if just with advice or something. So yeah,
Oh,
if
wow.
you need any help in interior design, just let me know.
So make sure you reach out to her with any of those questions. And I'm just grateful for you to come through and you didn't have to, but you did. So I appreciate that a lot. And now I have another friend on my list who's not going anywhere, whether she likes it or not, because I'll try and keep tabs. And I just wish you nothing but success in your journey.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. So guys, it's been another amazing episode of the Kiskapids podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and where else?
Podcast? iTunes podcast?
iTunes podcast, yes.
Spotify?
Yeah, we just got approved on
Okay.
Spotify and Spotify as well. Just make sure you tune in on all those platforms. And if you want to watch the full videos, definitely go intrigue yourself on YouTube. You get to see all these facial expressions, reactions, and everything. For those people who thought they'd get questions before the interview, you see their real reactions.
Yes.
So till next time, guys, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and goodbye.
Thank you.
How do you
Bye.
say goodbye in Russian?
In Russian? Like bye or like goodbye?
Goodbye.
До свидания.
Oh, das vidanya.
You
Das
knew it.
vidanya, yeah. Das vidanya, guys.
До свидания.
And Armenian?
Oh, it's very long.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
We're listening. There's have nothing but
Цитесичун.
what?
Цитесичун.
Sitasitun.
Цитесичун.
Sitasitun.
Yeah. Almost.
Okay. So till next time, guys. Goodbye. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening.